Welcome to the latest episode of the Forecast in 5. I'm your host, Seth Katz. Joining us today is Sonya Blake. Sonya serves as President and CEO of the Valley Economic Alliance. Since assuming her current role in 2020, she has led transformative initiatives that have strengthened the San Fernando Valley's economy, advanced policies that enhance quality of life, and fostered collaboration among business, government, and community leaders. With over 30 years of leadership experience, Sonya has held executive roles across government, nonprofit, and higher education institutions. Prior to leading the Alliance, she served as Director of Community Business in the Mayor's Office of Economic Development, where she advanced initiatives to support small businesses and improve economic equity in Los Angeles. She has also held leadership positions at the Governor's Office of the Small Business Advocate, NAWBO-LA, and the Santa Monica College Foundation. Additionally, Sonya has a UCLA alumni affiliation as she earned her MBA from the Anderson School. Welcome, Sonya. Appreciate you being with us today.
Thank you, Seth. It's a pleasure.
Well, let's get started with some questions. There's a number of Chamber of Commerce and Economic Development-related organizations that serve businesses across LA County, Southern California, and the state. Why should executives across the region be paying close attention to the Alliance?
I would say that there are so many different players in the landscape that are contributing to economic development, but the Alliance is special in that we are an economic development and community development organization. And so we definitely are an organization where the sum adds up to greater than the individual parts. So we be in the space where we take a regional approach. So we have 5 partner cities, Burbank, Glendale, Calabasas, the San Fernando Valley region of the city of Los Angeles, and the city of San Fernando. So these 5 cities all working toward economic development. What we do as an organization is we go beyond chambers and we help to advance regional approaches to our neighborhood problems, and we capitalize on opportunities in regional ways. So for example, the Olympics, how can our whole region approach that and benefit from that rather than just one particular city? Or when you think about poverty, how can we, those are issues that go beyond city borders. So we, as an economic and community development organizations, we're working with businesses and residents alike and the environment. So we're not just looking out for businesses, we're looking out for businesses and helping to expand the pie, the economy of our region. And we're also serving job seekers and neighborhood residents who may be concerned about development and how we're developing as a region. So bringing those parties together. And then also looking at the future of our environment, our environmental issues, our needs for access and reliable access to water and clean air, and having everyone inclusively benefit from the opportunities that our region and our economy can provide. So it's very much a coordination effort and amplifying what our individual partners may be doing to help advance the region as a whole.
Interesting to learn more. Encouraging organizations to consider opening or expanding their business to the San Fernando Valley is something that you do every day in your role as president and CEO of the Alliance. Can you share a few reasons with those business leaders watching about what makes the San Fernando Valley an ideal region to do business in?
Yes, absolutely. There's so many benefits to living and working and going to school in the San Fernando Valley. One is greater affordability than LA, the LA basin. And this may be surprising because we are all experiencing an affordability crisis in terms of costs, housing and energy. These are very expensive in our region for sure. And in the Valley, we do find that there is a measure of greater affordability here in terms of the housing. There's also less congestion when you think of some of our city areas where it can be very frustrating and difficult and time consuming to get from one place to the other. In the Valley, we find that we have a little bit more traffic flow, a little bit more space. You can have a little bit more land and room to breathe. And so that's definitely a benefit that a lot of businesses and residents alike enjoy. And then there's proximity to industry clusters. So in the Valley, we have some very significant clusters of healthcare, for example, aerospace manufacturing in the Chatsworth area, medical devices in Northridge area. We've got the entertainment industry really focused around Burbank and Studio City, and really just expanding. So you've got these wonderful industry clusters, which means that we not only have those anchor businesses, but we also have the suppliers and the whole supply chain that find it beneficial to locate near some of their trading partners. So it's ideal for that. And then we still have close proximity to the beach, to the airports, to the ports. We have Burbank Airport, another airport which is easier to get in and out of, some would argue, than other airports in the region, the larger airports like LAX. But there's just flexibility and there are options, which we find is a very beneficial aspect of being in the San Fernando Valley.
Really helpful to learn more about everything that the Valley has to offer.
Mm.
Providing resources for job seekers is a priority area for the Alliance. Through Talent Connect, your organization is bridging the gap between San Fernando Valley employers and
Mhm.
job seekers by consulting with businesses to understand their workforce needs. Would you be able to touch on the importance of this initiative?
Yeah, absolutely. Bridging the gaps is a lot of what the Alliance does, and gaps between employers and job seekers is a significant one that really needs a lot of our attention. So on the one hand, we have CSUN, which is a major research university that has 35,000 students a year coming through. They have graduates, about 500,000 graduates in all walks of life. And so there's a lot of educated graduates in our area. Of course, in fact, when you look at the statistics, we've got about 37% of our population have attained a BA or higher, which is higher than average in LA County. In addition to that, we've got our 4 community colleges. So we've got Glendale Community College to the east, Pierce to the west. We've got LA Valley College in the south of the Valley. And then we have Mission College in the Northeast. So we've also got these great vocational education resources that are now cleared to offer BA degrees as well. So we have a very educated workforce. However, why is it that many of our employers are still citing a lack as qualified employees as one of the reasons that's kind of holding them back from their growth? And I think some of the answers to that is there's a gap, there's a skills gap between what industry needs and what graduates, the skills and education that the graduates have attained. So what we're doing and why it's so important to administer a program like Talent Connect is to close those gaps and to make sure that there are conversations between our educational institutions and other training providers and industry so that we're training our graduates, our workforce, to the needs of industry, to the occupation needs today and jobs that will advance our economy in the future.
Got it. We have many UCLA Anderson students watching who hope to eventually advance into a chief executive role as you have. Since you've spent most of your career working in the economic development space, why do you believe this is an industry that these aspiring leaders should consider pursuing?
It is a very exciting industry. It's always changing, and it's very multifaceted. So I think if someone is really passionate about making an impact in the world, and if they're comfortable operating in an arena of uncertainty, then economic development could be a really good fit and deserves a closer look. You can actually do economic development from any one of the 3 sectors. So you could do economic development from the nonprofit sector, as I do, and a nonprofit organization, from an educational institution. Many of the colleges and universities have economic development and workforce development aspects to them. You can do economic development from the public sector as well, working for a government agency on their economic development teams, looking at that jurisdiction's land and how you're devoting land to different uses, so housing for sure, and then also for finding incentives for developers to develop vacant parcels or encouraging tenants to move into spaces and renovate and revitalize underserved areas. These are all important aspects. Also, the utilities, if you want to be in the public sector, utilities do have economic development emphases also. So there's opportunity there. And then, of course, in the private sector, going into real estate development, finance, and how to finance some of these major economic development projects are definitely opportunities. There's so much variation to the work, and it's definitely rewarding and worth checking out.
Certainly a lot of opportunity in the space. That'll be helpful for those listening. The Alliance works closely with many technological focused companies in information technology, healthcare, and the advanced manufacturing space. With all the advancements we're seeing with innovation such as AI and machine learning within these industries and across many others, how is the Alliance embracing this and taking advantage of the growth potential all of this presents?
Well, so many ways, and I think we're only scratching the surface. So there are policy implications, and so we help to inform businesses, residents, the public about some of the legislation that's moving through the California legislature, for example, to help regulate AI and data collection, which can have unintended consequences on businesses' ability to be able to just advance and move forward and make a profit. So we really need to be able to facilitate robust two-way communication between the legislators making the policy and those who are going to be greatly impacted by it, to make sure that we as a society are protected, and at the same time that we don't inadvertently over-regulate business and then hamper our economy. So we're trying to lead the way in navigating some of that terrain. We're also using AI in our own content development and data analytics to see how we can do better as an institution and grow and capture opportunities and try to recognize trends and be able to avoid problems and plan a little bit better. There are also AI implications for looking at customer traffic patterns and how they're navigating through commercial districts, small business districts, and shopping, and using drone technology to be able to map where people are going, where they want to be going, and thinking about how we can help cities and shopping districts to optimize customer traffic, things like that. So, and then there are also implications for the workforce, of course. So we really make it a priority to train our incumbent workforce on new technologies so they can remain in the positions where they are as the technology around them continues to evolve. And then when there are jobs that are becoming obsolete, we want to make sure that we are training our workforce to remain competitive. So we are encouraging our community colleges and others to create programs and to expand their programs on AI and cybersecurity. And then we're taking a lead role in making sure those programs and access to those programs, knowledge and awareness of those programs permeates our whole network and the region so that folks will know how to capitalize on those opportunities.
Tremendously helpful to learn more about the impact that the Alliance is having. And that brings us to the end of today's episode. Thanks so much for taking out the time to be with us, Sonya.
Thank you, Seth. I really enjoyed it and wish you all the best.
Likewise. And thanks to all our viewers for tuning in. We'll see you on the next episode of the Forecast in 5.